All right, so the hits keep coming for the SEC. And when I say hits, hits across the bow because they are taking incoming fire like crazy. Today, we're going to be breaking down what the SEC is trying to do in the NFT space. You guys are going to really love this one. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into TechPath. Let's go right to it. I want to jump over to the SEC charges on the LA-based media and entertainment company Impact Theory for unregistered offering of NFTs. A couple of things they note here. Impact Theory raised approximately $30 million. And hundreds of investors. Theory emphasized that it was trying to build the next Disney, and if successful, it would deliver a tremendous value to founders' key purchases. There was a founder NFT. And then they ordered it to pay a combined total of $6.1 million in the disgorgement. The order was also establishing a fair fund to return the monies. This is where it gets crazy. The monies that injured investors paid to purchase the NFTs. Impact Theory also agreed to destroy all founders' keys and its position and or control, publish a notice of the order on its website and social, and eliminate any royalties that Impact Theory might otherwise receive from the future secondary market transactions involving the founders' keys. So this is a pretty heavy position, I think, overall. And the fact that they're asking for these kinds of actions, first of all, starts to showcase that the SEC doesn't really understand NFTs, apparently. And I think this is the scenario that is really going to play out as to the struggle that is happening within the SSC and this SEC. And what I'm talking about is between Hester, Peirce, and of course, Gary Gensler. I want to jump over to Hester's statement right here, NFTs and the SEC statement on Impact Theory. Now, this is coming in from these two commissioners, Uyeda and Peirce. Let's go right to some of the highlights here. NFTs were not shares of a company and did not guarantee or generate any type of dividend or purchase. Adults should be able to spend their money as they choose. Totally agree. Even if the NFT sales were fit squarely within the Howey test, this sets off facts as one of the warrants on enforcement action. The typical cure for a registration violation is a rescission offer, which the company already made in the form of a repurchase program. So that's interesting. It also paid out a total of $7.7 million worth of Ether. Presumably other purchasers likewise could have sold their NFTs back to the company. So this is another scenario that all of these kind of aspects, at least Hester Peirce seems to understand the scope of where NFTs are in the market, how a smart contract works, how all this plays out. Further on, they go in to say commission should have grappled with these questions long ago. Any attempts to use this enforcement action as a precedent is fraught with difficulty. In other words, these are just more case losses if we were to get into a scenario of the case going to a judge. How should recent legislative efforts construct a framework for crypto inform our thinking about the application of security laws and NFTs? That's a big question. What type of information do these purchasers want? Might other regulatory frameworks be more appropriate? All of this is good. These are great questions for determining this. And then would compliance with any requirements be prohibitively costly? If so, what alternative approaches would be more workable, but still achieve the Commission's objectives of protecting investors and the integrity of the marketplace? Totally agree. This settlement includes an undertaking by the issuer to destroy the NFTs in its position. And then also what precedence does not set is the future cases in which the NFTs at issue represent unique pieces of digital art or music. And then number 9, they go on to say, is that the settlement includes an undertaking to revise the smart contracts, which you can't do, or any other programming codes or computer codes underlying the key NFTs to eliminate the royalty. Given that one of the promising features of the NFTs is the ability to reward creators with royalties every time an NFT, of course, is sold, what a precedent does not set for is future cases. This is getting to a point now where it's comical. And of course, understanding this technology, and it just does not seem like what is happening at the SEC makes any sense at all. These, as I said in the previous video, they have to be very educated litigators and understanding where this technology is moving. And this is one of the monetary systems and technologies that is going to be driving the markets for the next several decades. So they need to get under on this. It's a big one. I want to play this clip right here. Let's jump to this. This is an interesting one. This is Tom Bilyeu of Impact Theory responding to this. Listen to this from his Twitter space.
The settlement is what's called a neither admit nor deny basis. So I'm not admitting to agreeing with the SEC's take on it, and at the same time, I'm not denying anything from the SEC. And the reason that we wanted to settle was we ran the math. And the reality is that the thing that seemed best for the community was to, instead of spending the double amount that it would have cost us over the settlement, to end up in either the same place, possibly worse, possibly better, but possibly worse situation. We'd rather take that money and put it into what we're building. SEC right now is not able to give the industry clarity yet moving forward, which I think is going to be very, very, very important. And for them to give the clarity, I think the commission has 5 voting members. 3 of them voted against this, and they believe that the commission really has to answer 8 or 9 questions to give the industry clarity. And so we were very encouraged to see that they're trying to think about how this moves forward.
All right, so I think impact theory, obviously, to break it down, it is financial. It's an issue where you have one of the biggest litigators in the land going directly at a business that has no ability to really defend itself at a level like, say, a Mark Cuban or someone else who's willing to really go and spend a lot of money to fight this off. So Tom basically said, hey, we're going to go ahead and settle. It doesn't mean we're right. It doesn't mean we're wrong. What they can't claim is victory, and it's a scenario that we think we can take the difference in what we settle and what it'll cost to defend this, and may win, may not win, and reposition that into profitable and more innovative. Good decision, I think, on their part. I think any business owner would make that decision of going and not trying to fight against the SEC. But the good point that he also made was that at least some of the commissioners, 3 of the 5, have already started to align these question alignments. That was the questions we just read through here recently on the show. And I think this is the factor. This is the things that have to be answered. But again, it just showcases that this is so idiotic. All right, so here was another tweet from John Deaton. I might be in trouble. Under Gary Gensler's interpretation of the U.S. securities law, my signed game more MJs could pose a problem. So this is another issue. This is the thing we've talked about. It's kind of the whole issue of the Howey case in general of the secondary market sales. And again, if you look at Flow kind of comes in just in. Disney's Mickey and Friends. Digital toys are making their ways to crypto on Flow. Again, this is another scenario where we're going to see digital assets gain value. Does that mean that they are securities? Does that mean what? This is the kind of silliness that we're facing in the technology scope only because it's dealing with money. Every technology that has moved into innovation in the past has never dealt with the monetary system like this technology. And it's why the SEC is running around in shambles trying to defend this and basically trying to run roughshod over the industry as a whole. I want to go to another clip. Let's take a look at this one. I think you're going to like this. This is Cenk Uygur on Young Turks. Listen in.
Now I've seen this in 3 different cases in the last 2 months or so. There is no reasonable expectation of profit. That's not a thing. I don't know where this madness came from. And it doesn't matter if it's a traditional buyer or not a traditional buyer. First of all, you bought. So what difference does it make that there was another buyer that was traditional or otherwise? No, Sotheby's is just someone that facilitates sales. And so you either buy it or you don't. And that's up to your dumbass. Sotheby's put up some junk and I knew it was junk and I wanted to make money off of it, but goddamn it, I didn't. Why doesn't Sotheby's give me a profit I didn't deserve? That's not a thing. Okay, we run a company called TYT. Should I just sue everyone in the world because I should make more profit and they owe me? No, that's not a thing.
All right, so I think Cenk is onto something there, and it's called reality. That's what we don't have in the SEC right now. And it is a problem, I think, overall. We are dealing with an agency that is almost manipulative in their actions. And if you look at some of the things they've been doing, this was a tweet we put out. Let me kind of zoom in on this for you guys. Gensler alerts investors to be careful about ETFs after losing against Grayscale. Look at the date on this, people, right there. That's the 29th of August. And these are rarely posted out. This was August 16th on a natural disaster investment scam. So again, this is just Gensler, I think, really trying to play a political position right now. He is in trouble as a commissioner, and he's starting to make the SEC look inept. And anytime you make a government agency such as the SEC start to look inept, you are creating yourself as a political baggage carrier for what is right now the Democratic side of our political environment. So a lot of this, I think, is really starting to point out. If you look at what Patrick McHenry has said, obviously coming from the GOP side, SEC Chair Gensler, crusade against the digital asset ecosystem is falling apart under scrutiny from the courts. This is yet another example of why a comprehensive regulatory framework like the FIT, this was the which by the way, if you have not watched our whole series, we have a full-blown lineup of all, and this was the FIT bill that is talking about financial and digital assets and what this might look like, especially under the regulatory environment. Check out our playlist. It's going to be giving you a full rundown on that. So just check that down below. If you're not part of our group right now, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because it's one of the things you can do. Make sure to hit the little bell. It'll give you notifications, of course, when we go live. All right, last point here is just XRP. There's some interesting timing here with this. 75,000 XRP supporters to join Ripple as they celebrate their XRP victory in New York. I think we should go to this, guys. We should probably go up there and party, because the date is coming up right here, September 29th. Now, this is a very interesting date because it is the potential where we might see an ETF. It's also a potential where we could see regulatory environment. This is basically a wake for, I think, Gary Gensler. That's really what it boils down to, is that this could be the final act of surprise, I think, for Gary Gensler as we see ETFs, and also Coinbase looming in the wings potentially as a win as well, with the House really on bated breath, possibly to get a stablecoin bill passed. If all of that starts to move in, we are talking about a wave, if not a tsunami, coming at Gensler and the SEC. So all of that we'll continue to cover. We'll give you guys a full breakdown of this. Make sure and stay tuned to the channel. You do not want to miss this stuff. We are about to enter a very, very brisk action zone of time that is going to give you guys a lot of insight to where this market is going in the next few months and the next few years. So do not miss it. Become part of the Diamond Circle right now. Click the link down below. You get additional content, podcasts, all sorts of research, as well as additional analysis from me. If, of course, you guys want to reach me, it's out there on Twitter, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.